Jacques sent us an email and asked, can I legally be forced to sell my home after ending a relationship? Okay, here's one of these relationship questions. We're getting a lot. Here's what he says. Both names, I guess, Jacques and his girlfriend, not legally married, and they want to know if they can be forced to sell the home just because the other party wants to leave and wants money for what they have put into the home. Chuck?
Well, it depends on how the deed is written. Let's assume that they're both on the deed, 50-50.
Yep.
Can he be forced to sell his interest? Probably not. There are ways to do partition, but you've got to have a really good reason. We just broke up isn't, in my mind, one of those reasons. Now, that's not to say that the other person wouldn't be owed some money. If they're on the deed 50-50, 50% of the proceeds is what they're going to want. What I hear occasionally, I don't know about this scenario, but this comes up all the time. You know, we're engaged, we're going to buy the house together. He's putting down all the money or she's putting down all the money and the other person's going on the deed. It's not really the best idea. If you're putting all the money down and you're getting the loan in your name, you know, you might not want to do that. However, they do it. Putting a person on the deed gives them 50% interest. It doesn't matter how much you brought.
Can you have an agreement? You can have an agreement, though, if they're 50-50 on, or does it get really dicey?
Yeah. I mean, just keep in mind that prenups weren't even allowed in Kentucky until like a decade or so ago. Everybody did them, but they were, you know, a contract against, you know, public interest or whatever. So now you want to do it, contract between two people that aren't married. You know, yeah, you can have an agreement. Yeah, you can sue each other for that. But are they going to be able to force you to sell? No. They aren't. You know, you can partition property sometimes, but on a residential property, I just can't even imagine what that lawsuit would look like.
Well, how much of a mess does this end up being sometimes, Chuck? Have you, do you know
it can be a real mess. You know, you've got the acrimony going on. If you can avoid that, you know, it'll work out. But the problem lies in the fact that when you're not married and you're on the deed together, it's not like a divorce. You know, there's rules with a divorce. You go in front of a judge, the judge can say, yeah, you need to sell the property. If they don't, then they can get the commissioner in there to sign off on the person who refuses. I mean, there's a whole framework of how to handle that. Not so the other way around. But it doesn't have to be relationships. Let's just say you and I go in as partners on a piece of property. Can you force me to sell? Quick answer is probably not.